It's like we all know what's going down, but no one's saying shit what happened to the home of the brave.
What's up, and welcome to This Week in Stupid, where we watch stupid do stupid, we have fun, we laugh, we move on with our lives. Alright? Okay.
Are you ready?
Welcome to the end of days.
President Trump, in his third address to the nation tonight, just short of about an hour and a half.
Let me just interrupt. Did you just see how Speaker Nancy Pelosi ripped up the speech right behind the president? He's still there.
I missed that moment as he was... Oh, wow. That's something.
Well, isn't she just a little bottle rocket of spunk, huh? So that fox right there is Speaker of the House, a.k.a. Madam Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and she's kind of a big deal.
People know me.
I'm not sure the earth still spins if she isn't on it. She's one of those people you either hate her or despise her. There really is no in between. People say things about Nancy like she thinks she's above the law, she acts like she's better than everybody else. Newsflash. She is above the law because she is better than everybody else. She's Nancy fucking Pelosi.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Legend has it, after Nancy's recent visit to Taiwan, some people believe China launched 2 missiles over Taiwan to send a message when in fact, those missiles were blocked and deflected into the sea only after bouncing off of Nancy's ball of aura, truly larger than life.
I'm very important.
Does she mess up every once in a while? Yeah, she's still human.
If you tell me that this legislation is worthy of George Kirby's name.
Thank you, George Floyd.
Let's hear it for the children. We're here for the children.
All kidding aside, people want to know, is Nancy really as bad as people make her out to be? Absolutely. Nancy was accused of pushing a child during this photo op. Her team later said Nancy was simply making sure the child wasn't hidden behind her for the pictures. So being the quick thinker she is, Nancy threw a Joe Rogan elbow at the kid to set her in place. But instead of being praised for her quick solution to the problem, Nancy has faced major backlash. Some people have gone as far as to accuse the Madam Speaker of bullying. But is this the look of someone bullying somebody? No. That's the look of someone despising someone.
She always says that her sort of lodestar is the children, the children, the children.
Her top 3 priorities are the children, the children, the
children.
The children. She always repeats it. The children, the children.
Because it was about the children. The children, the children, the children.
Another thing people like to say is, Nancy abuses her power as House Speaker using information she receives to purchase and trade stocks. People think because Nancy has the ability to speed up or slow down bills hitting the floor, she can strong-arm other members into voting in certain bills by holding back other ones.
When Obama would give on some issue, she immediately spoke up, we're not doing that. That's not coming out of the House.
It's not coming out of the House.
Every time that he would say, I'm reaching out to Republicans, she would publicly say, no, we aren't.
Even though this is all true, shouldn't we be asking why one person has this much power? Nobody should have that much power. Like, this is crazy retarded right here. Did you know when Nancy started her second term as Speaker, she somehow succeeded in getting a rules package that would require a majority of the majority to remove her? In other words, like it says here, Republicans couldn't unite with a minority of Democrats to remove her from speakership. How do you even get people to agree to something? Oh yeah, she's Nancy fucking Pelosi.
So don't mess with me.
Yeah, Nancy sucks, mostly because she has the power to right herself of any wrong.
Her Nancy Pelosi's office.
I asked her if that made her afraid.
Only thing that bitch afraid of is a glass of water.
The insider trading law. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that, and secondly, should...
Nancy said that they would have had a fight on their hands. They would have had a battle on their hands because she's a street fighter.
Yeah, Nancy's as much a street fighter as Jill is a doctor. The only thing Nancy's knocking out is a gallon of Grey Goose for breakfast.
Just one thing you need to know about Nancy.
I know. If you got anything to talk to her about, make sure it's before 9 a.m., because if not, you're running the risk of her being inebriated.
Nancy is more D'Alessandro than she is Pelosi.
What's that, Italian for douchebag?
And she's always her father's daughter.
I would have never have guessed Nancy had parents. I always just assumed she spawned from Satan himself.
From the day she was born, she was in a family that was accustomed to seeking power, holding power, and using power.
So who is this family of power? Who exactly is Nancy Pelosi's father? Well, let's meet the former U.S. Representative from Maryland and 39th Mayor of the great city of Baltimore, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr.
Who is this guy?
There's a ton of stuff on this guy, mostly speculation, but it's the kind of speculation that makes sense, you know? The only thing I can say for sure about him is he is half to blame for the curse we know as Nancy Pelosi. That alone is enough for me to think this man was evil. When a demon comes flying out of your wife in the delivery room, screaming insurrection in 9-inch stilettos, you have to put that child down for the sake of mankind. That's just my opinion. Either way, here's all you need to know about Nancy's papa.
He's a scumbag.
Absolutely a scumbag, but he does love his family. Back in the summer of 1953, the mayor's son, Franklin Roosevelt D'Alessandro, was one of 14 youths charged with committing rape or perverted practices on 2 girls. Well, kids ages 11 and 13. And in case you don't know what perverted practices are, they are what you think they are.
She says put it in her mouth. Yeah, I mean her motherfucking mouth.
I like it. Keeping it classy, ladies. So anybody want to guess what happened? Yeah. Franklin was acquitted, but he was soon after charged with perjury for lying on the stand in the same case. But then that trial was moved to a different venue where he was found not guilty. Justice.
No one is above the law.
Well, unless your father's the mayor of the city. If that's the case, feel free to kidnap 2 kids, 11 and 13, and repeatedly sexually abuse them for 8 days. He was 20 years old when this happened. He was a fucking pedophile and should have been shot walking into the courthouse.
Seems a bit drastic.
I guess that depends on how you feel about diddlers, but here's the thing. This guy Jack Pollock, who was a whiskey smuggler turned politician, had a well-known reputation for interference in the court system and taking bribes. Well, he was also indicted on obstruction of justice for attempting to influence testimony from several of the defendants being tried with Frankie D, who, by the way, was the only one of 12 at the time to successfully obtain an acquittal. So the fact that Pollock and Nancy's papa were at least longtime acquaintances makes me think Papa, one way or another, was going to get his kid out of trouble in this case. Whether it was swaying the defendants using Pollock or just moving the trial elsewhere or whatever, it's his kid. He's trying to protect him, so I get it. But then in 1954, more allegations roll in after he was implicated in receiving undisclosed amounts of cash, which we now know was at least $11,000 from a building developer for city contracts. Obviously, Papa was cleared of any wrongdoing, obviously. Unfortunately, his good friend Dominic wasn't so lucky. Dominic was found guilty of conspiracy to defraud the city of $43,000 on some off-street parking garages and obstruction of justice for submitting phony ledgers to a grand jury. That's right, the same ledgers he attempted to erase the $11,000 loan from Mrs. D'Alessandro's beauty supply business. Not that she ever had one. Papa D'Alessandro would never allow something like that. That's why it's funny that they said the loan was for her. Either way, it was paid back in full, in cash, so we just need to take them at their word, which at this point, I see no reason to doubt. She did testify in court on old Dominic's behalf in this matter, so it has to be true. Nancy's mother had hoped that she would have joined one of the church's religious orders, but Nancy had no interest in becoming a nun and bursting into flames. She thought about being a priest, though, because there seemed to be a little more power there, but again, the whole bursting into flames after stepping into the church thing would have been a problem. So Nancy went to Washington, the place where the more criminal you are, the more power they give you.
The power is yours.
But so what, right? Who cares? The 50s were almost 70 years ago. I mean, Nancy was just a kid when this stuff was going on.
She was a child then.
Okay, but she was there, and you'd be a fool if you don't think she wasn't watching and listening. Nancy was raised by a crooked politician who wielded his power and influence for personal gain. And remember,
she's always her father's daughter.
Get the fuck up!
As always, just want to thank you all for pulling up and rocking out with me. I appreciate every single one of you. If you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, you probably should. And since you're already down in that area, hit the bell. Then click all at the top so you don't miss anything. If you sexied everything right, it should look like this. Good job. Don't forget to join us here. You can also come follow me here, and here. Oh yeah, I'm over here now too. Listen. All we can do as Americans is do our best, put the right people in the right places, and eventually we will be okay. With that being said, be safe, stay great, don't be a pussy.
Till the next time.
Don't mess with me.
Till the next time.